are you nervous?
Okay.
Are you nervous?
Okay. Let's go, guys.
Yeah,
What the Baag? Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to What the
Back!
So today we have with us our very own marketing head from our team, Beck, and she is the owner of Oven O'Clock, a baking company, So she basically bakes macarons, and that is her specialty. So welcome to the podcast. It's our episode 3. So on behalf of all of us, welcome to episode 3 of our podcast, What the Beck. Okay, so Arshdeep Kaur, the guest for today, the celebrity of our department. So tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm a final year student and I'm doing law. I am batchmates with Abhay. Actually, he's 1 year junior to me. And I'm heading the marketing department of the business club of our department. And also, apart from the boring stuff, I own my business venture called Oven O'Clock and I specialize in making macarons.
Okay, so before we get into how you started your business, do you know what macarons mean?
Yeah, I made my own sweet little definition. I like to call them sweet, good pills of happiness.
Okay, before I get into any other question, is there something as a happy macaron and a sad macaron?
Oh, definitely there is one. Happy macarons are all the macarons that are made by Oven O'Clock.
A
And
good
all the
plug-in,
sad
by the way.
and all the sad ones are made by other bakers.
So you're basically trying to demean the other bakers?
Not really. I'm just saying good things about my brand.
Okay, so how did Oven O'Clock come into being?
Well, it's been more than 2 years now, almost 3 years. I started experimenting in the kitchen. It started when everybody became a chef and everybody's in pro chef mode during lockdown. And I was one of them. I always liked baking, but then this eventually, my passion for baking gradually increased. And I started making new dishes. I started experimenting with baking a lot of different items. But then I got stuck at this one particular item, macarons, and I just couldn't get my hand on them. I just couldn't get them right. So I took that as a challenge, and it took me about 11 tries to get them right. And then eventually I got them right, and I was like, where has this been all my life? And the first macaron that I had was the one that I made myself.
Yeah.
And so that is how it started and how it came into being. Eventually, people liked what I did, and then I put it into a business.
Yeah, so exciting. I mean, Newton took a gazillion tries to get his theories right. Arshi got it right in the 11th time. So good for her. We're very happy for her. Okay, so Arshi, so when you started, you said you started during the times of Corona. Now, so what were the basic hurdles that you had to overcome to actually make your, to establish something new?
Well, when it came to macarons, the biggest hurdle was to get them right from the point of view of running a continuous business, because this is one item that is very finicky and it's very delicate, not just to handle once they are made, but also to get them right. So the 11th time when I got them right, that was probably one time I got them right, and probably 10 times after that I got them wrong. And it keeps on happening. It kept on happening even today. It happens sometimes that I have a bulk order and I make it. I get it done to the dot, the recipe correct to the dot, but then I still sometimes face a lot of issues in making macarons. So that has got to be the biggest hurdle while making macarons.
Okay, so I mean, you're a student of law. Amongst all of us, you in the 5th year, you've been through the past 4 years of law, and now you've come down and started your own business. So how do you kind of manage your entire daily routine, wherein you have to attend university, you also have to make bulk orders, you also, I'm sure you must be interning with a lawyer as of now. So how do you manage your entire day-to-day routine and, run a successful business as well?
Well, I feel this comes from a lot of people who procrastinate a lot, and I feel that once you start getting it, for me it has not been tough yet to manage all aspects of my life along with the business, and I've been able to divide my time and days in a week to do all the things simultaneously.
So, also, you decided to shoot in Raasbaag. What
Yes.
was the reason of shooting in Raasbaag?
Well, one, because it is such a beautiful place, and two, I was already familiar with this place. So were you. I've already exhibited here, and I was a very successful event, and the people here are very nice. It's I think for the first interview, it's a very homely and a nice vibe.
Talking about exhibitions, how many of these exhibitions have you done till now?
I did my 7th exhibition recently in Plafora. I did my recent exhibition a few days ago in Plafora, and it's been my 7th exhibition now.
Okay, so how do you approach these people who are putting out these exhibitions, and how difficult is it for somebody who's new to set up an exhibition at a reputed fair?
So that's two questions basically. How do I get approached for exhibitions? See, once you start getting in businesses now, so your word travels around, and more often than not, you get inquiries whether you want to put up a stall here, your details, and etc. So this is what happens now. But for my first exhibition, I knew that this is the next step for my business when I did my first exhibition. So I started exploring. I used to put hashtag exhibitions in Chandigarh on Instagram and start searching for places, budget-friendly exhibitions and good exhibitions. So that's how it begins. Well, the first step is trying to find it out on your own, and eventually when you get out in the business, the word travels and people start approaching you.
Okay, so what kind of a customer base do you cater to?
Majorly my customer base is anybody who likes to have a good dessert. But if I had to put it in a bracket, it's mostly people our age, plus minus 10 years from our age. So that is 30 tak and people younger than us.
So Macarons, I'm sure it's something new. It's come up recently. It wasn't there. When I was 10 years old, something very new for all of us. And how did you go about marketing your product?
Well, when I started this business, the page Oven O'Clock, it started as a food page. So as I told you that my business was was an extension of me experimenting in the kitchen. So one of my friends, he suggested that I should put this out on a proper page and not my personal Instagram profile. So I started posting it, and I never really had a very solid marketing strategy to it. I just posted whatever I felt like, whenever I felt like. And not just for me, I think for almost everybody, the lockdown has been a little bit of a creative period for everybody, because a lot of people got time to spend amongst themselves, and they got time to be with their own selves. And for me, that was a very creative time, me and my sister. And so how did I got this product, a new product in the market, was that I started it as a food blog. Then eventually I struck at Macarons, and uske baad there was no stopping. I still like to follow an approach in my marketing that is post whatever I feel like, post what I feel the most, like I feel myself like 100% in, and then I go about it. And that actually works out also.
So now, are you baking out of your kitchen, or do you have an industrial unit? How does it work for you?
Well, as for now, I have an industrial unit where I do all my baking in, and it's like a 2-part process. I bake most of my stuff in the industrial unit, but then I store it at my home refrigerator, and that is where I supply all those.
And how are you making these macarons available to people? I've heard that you've just started delivery pan India. So how do you make it available to your clients who are sitting in Ahmedabad, who are sitting maybe down south? So how does it work out for you?
Well, Instagram has played a very big role in my business, and that has been one of the major sources of people getting to know my business, and me getting solid clients out of it. That is one. And number two is, like we talked about, exhibitions. Exhibitions, they are a very good place for building connections, and so that is how I sell my product through these two channels.
So if you were not doing macarons right now, what would you be doing?
I really don't know. I really don't know. But uh, I don't think I'd like to be at any other place better than this. If I wasn't doing macarons, I would have probably been thinking about doing macarons or trying to gather
I
the
mean,
courage.
have you ever had a second thought about doing what you're doing, considering you're still a student and you have a number of opportunities available, considering your age, considering the knowledge that you have?
Well, I would have been still exploring. Uh, I would have liked to explore the creative side in me, and as I'm doing law, I find law is not does not give you a creative edge to it. It's mostly black and white. So this is a business that I could channel out my creative energies at, and if not this, I would have tried to find a source to enhance my creative side a little bit.
How do the colors come about? I mean, I'm sure these are different flavors. So how do the colors of these macarons come about? Is it like this lemonish color for lemon flavor,
That's
pink color
correct.
for strawberry flavor?
That is correct.
But how do you get the color of these?
I mean, well, for the major part, I try to go with what the flavor of the macaron is going to be. But other than that, I try to go with whatever's looking the most attractive and which is gonna get me more money.
Okay, apart from all this, how do you think social media has played a role in setting up your business?
Social media has played a very, very big role. So when lockdown began, Reels was a new feature that Instagram launched, and so that began simultaneously, Reels and my business venture, Oven O'Clock. So I used to put a lot of Reels, and initially when Instagram started with that project, it used to push your video a lot. So matlab 10,000, 20,000 views were nothing. Matlab within 1 or 2 hours, you used to get so many views. So matlab that helped me put a foundation of my clients. It reached out to people, and eventually that grew on.
Okay, so if you would not have had Instagram as a source to grow, what other options would have you would have used?
Well, I would have definitely gone to e-marketing. That is apparently my next step after this. I would have jumped to e-marketing, or I would have put my products on Swiggy and Zomato. But I think nothing would have been as good as an Instagram account, a social media presence, because again, all these things require a lot of capital, and Instagram is free for all the people to use. People like me who had no absolutely zero idea about how a business is, how much money you need to have. So yeah, if not Instagram or social media, it would have definitely been Swiggy, Zomato, or
So in the
e-commerce.
future, do you plan on venturing out from outside your territory of macarons into something new? I mean, as far as I've observed, people have cakes and they have macarons as supplements to their entire menu. You have macarons as your niche. And so are you open to adding more things on your menu?
As far as Oven O'Clock is concerned, no. I would like to keep this as my USP. I would like to, more than keeping it as a USP, I'd like to put all my effort and love into this one single product that I can. And I believe that it's always a better approach to मतलब 50 चीज़ें करने से ज़्यादा अच्छा ये है कि एक चीज़ करो but put your 110% into
So
it.
do you think your model of growing with the macarons is sustainable? I mean, you're catering to only one product and that product solely. So लगता है कि with the reach the macarons have, so you can make your macarons available in each and every household and make that such a big thing that you can solely survive on macarons?
Definitely, that is my vision. That goes on my vision board. That I plan to put macarons in each and everybody's pantry, and it should be as common as probably like a Parle-G biscuit. Of course, on the premium side, but that is how I plan to expand it.
That's nice. Okay, so why have you kept your base as Chandigarh? Have you not thought about moving out to Delhi or, even to specialize in other things, even in macarons? Have you thought about taking classes? I mean, going somewhere out and learning more about it?
Well, I've been approached before for taking classes for macarons, but I feel that I am still a little new to the business, that giving classes and giving away my recipes and teaching other people how to make macarons is not gonna be beneficial for my own business. So and the second part of your question being that if I've thought about going into other cities, well, I have my college here right now. I really can't do that as per now. But then that is where I've put pan India deliveries, that option available to people who want to purchase from outside my city.
Okay, so sometime back you said you think of going into the e-commerce side of it. So, if you make a website that is only catering to a single product, do you think that it'll attract so many people who'll just come there for one single product as compared to other sites which offer a plethora of options? Whereas you have a one single option, don't you think that becomes a drawback for your own good?
Well, I don't think so, because a lot of websites that if they offer my product, that product is not going to be up to the mark, and that product is not going to be justified to its price, and that is where my business will come in. And if somebody wants to experience a good macaron, that is where our 1 o'clock will come in. And I don't think that having a single product will hamper its growth.
Okay, so just an estimate, give me an estimate. How many batches of macarons have you baked till now?
I have absolutely no worry. Probably in thousands now. And that is, each batch has about 100 macarons. So.
And we've only got to have like 5 till date. Just saying. We've just had 5. And those were free, by the way. Yeah. Okay. So moving on from here, if you were to give an advice to the students of our college, I mean, a lot of them are into baking, and I'm sure you've tried most of their stuff. So what is that one advice you would like to pass on to them? As I would say that you're a professional baker in terms of macaron. So what is that one advice that you would like to put out there for our students who are just starting out, who are just venturing out?
Well, I just say go for it. Don't feel shy, and don't care about what anybody else is going to think about you having a social media presence. Because I know even I faced this, because when I started out, I was like, kya sochega, wo kya sochega? I'm putting my face out there. Am I looking funny? Is my voice okay? Ye wo. But the world is very small, and you're just a tiny bit of it, and everything that you've created in your head is not going to matter after a long time. And so just start doing whatever you have in mind. I mean, even if it does not turn out to be a successful venture, you'll not have the regret of not trying.
Okay. So when you were venturing out, when you just started your business, did you take help of any literature, any books? I mean, websites? Did you read a lot of articles? Even with your recipe, did you experiment? Did you go through a lot of YouTube videos while making those?
Of course. A lot of people are very surprised when I tell them that I learnt making macarons by myself. And I think, like Elon Musk says, that is it him?
Well, you have to say it for me to know.
Is it him? He says ki if you want to learn, you can, internet pe sab kuch available hai. Is that him who says that?
No, that was me.
Yeah. I don't know. There's this quote. So I also like to believe that if you want to learn anything, just go out, explore the internet. You will find so much, and you'll find so many articles which are available for free on the internet.
So I'm sure making macarons is a very happy phase for you, but has there been any time where you were disheartened, or maybe was there a dry spell in your entire career? I mean, you must have come down. There are always ups and downs in a business. So was there a kind of a dry spell where you felt that maybe you reconsidered your decision?
Yes, there have been a number of times that I've felt like that, and there have been a few times that I've stopped taking orders and I've told people that I'm not accepting anything till further notice and ऐसा. And that has gone for about a good 4 and 5 months that I did not take any orders because I wasn't in a good state. Probably I messed up a batch, or I had a bad review. I had something like that, and I had a negative experience. But then I learned from that experience that whenever I used to come back into business, I was welcomed back into the business with 2 times more enthusiasm and love from everybody. So that was the old me, but I do not let that affect me anymore, and I just keep on going.
Okay, so talking about reviews, you're so out there in the social media, and social media is like a pool of comments wherein there'll be a lot of praises and there'll be a lot of people who are bad mouthing you. So, okay, starting with the good experiences. So, do you remember your first sale and your first review that ever came?
Yeah, of course I do. It was a friend's mom who ordered the first box of macaron from me, and she doesn't need egg herself, so she wanted to gift it to somebody, and that meant a lot to me. And she was the first one amongst a lot of people who ordered the very first day that I went live for accepting orders. And a lot of immediate friends, a lot of friends from my department, they were so supportive, and they still are till this date with my business. And I remember my first experience of the order.
Okay, talking about customers, how do you hold on to your customers for a long? I'm sure they must be ordering and reordering again and again. So how do you hold on to your customer base?
Well, social media especially is a place where you have to maintain your social relationships with your clients, and I think that works out pretty well. I plan, as soon as I go into e-commerce, I plan to build up a proper database where I can stay connected with them through emails. But as for now, I make it sure that I'm well connected on Instagram with them. I keep sending them whatever is the latest flavor edition and something. So I try building my connections like that.
So how many flavors have you invented till now?
That's probably more than 30 now, I think.
And what is the most accepted flavor?
Most accepted?
Or the most cherished? I mean,
Lemon.
lemon?
Do you want to try one?
I'm sure. Why would I say no to that? Something coming to me for free.
But pick up the yellow one.
This one?
Yes.
Okay, so I've never tried macaron. I mean, I've tried macarons, but not a lemon one. And what is the filling?
It has a homemade lemon curd inside with a white chocolate ganache in it. So it's got 2 layers of flavors in it.
You know, like the whole taste of it. Maybe I'm gonna order after I finish off with this interview. Okay. So I have seen you like distributing your macarons in college also. Is that another part of your marketing technique?
No.
Then is it just because you're happy?
I'm happy, and
Are you this happy every day?
not really. But जिस दिन मैं macaron लेके आती हूँ उस दिन I'm very happy. But
I'm sure the people of the department are also very happy that
नहीं,
day.
actually 2 साल यही ऐसी है ना. 2 साल में I used to put on story after story and story. सारे सड़ते रहते थे. ये करे कोई मंगवा नहीं सकता सी. Everybody was back at their homes. This is like my giveaway कि कोई गल नहीं. Don't be mad.
ये ऐसा giveaway रोज हो तो अच्छा नहीं होगा.
वही नहीं होता ना फिर रोज हो.
Okay, so you have a B2C business. You're directly supplying to customers. Have you ever thought of collaborating with, all these big baking houses, or maybe a departmental store which keeps all these baking items?
Definitely. This is also one of the ways that I can expand it, and I've done it with a few restaurants. It's good, but then there's this cost that they also cut from it, and it's too soon for my business to be able to sustain that.
So Arshi, what is your favorite macaron?
Mine will definitely have to be the Nutella one. Since I've tried so many flavors and I've tried them so much, I almost eat like at least one macaron in like 2 days.
Okay, so we were in conversation with Arshi, and so last time we spoke, she had told me that there's something known as a Macaron Dance. And she was supposed to teach me as well.
Okay. For that, first you'll have to have another macaron. And I'd say everybody should come in the frame.
Yes.
And वो automatically निकलता है सारे बच्चों macaron
Yes.
dance after you eat a macaron.
So basically, Arshi wants the entire team to come and have macarons. So before you guys reach,
Guys.
हम तोड़ गए जब तुम झुकी, तब से तुम नजर